Well, time to grab that steamy cup of coffee. On this Money Monday, we are joined by Mike McFall. He is co-CEO of Biggby Coffee, and we are so excited to talk to him. He's also the author of the new book, Grind, but we are going to dive in and enjoy some of the tips of your success as you've carved this incredible career in the world of coffee. So first of all, Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Layla. Great to be here.
Yeah, so here in the Charleston area, you've got 4 locations. Biggby Coffee is a franchise, but you are considered the 3rd largest coffee franchise in the United States. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
How did you do that? That's amazing.
Well, 26 years of work, right? And a whole lot of focus on waking up every day and being focused on selling one more cup of coffee today than we did yesterday. And that's been what we've been doing, and it's what I've made my career around. And
how did it all begin? Did you always have a love of coffee, or did you see
No,
a need?
I wouldn't say that. I ended up working in our first store as a barista. And I worked the morning shift, and frankly, I fell in love with the business. I fell in love with making people happy every single morning when they'd walk in the door. And I really grew to love the product and depended on the product. But it really was, I love the business, and I love being a barista, and that was the fundamental to everything. And it's all grown from there.
And the path to that success, though, so you said you started as a barista. Did you have a degree in business? Were you equipped with all the knowledge that you needed to create a franchise?
No, I wouldn't say that I was equipped. I did have a degree in business. I got a degree in business in 1993, but no, it was a pretty steep learning curve, but a real commitment to improving and growing and getting better at what we do. I have my business partner, Bob Fish, had a ton of experience in the restaurant space. And so, I leaned on him and still lean on him today for a lot of the knowledge around coffee specifically and the products. But what I brought to the table was a real passion around systems and systems thinking, and I didn't really know I had a passion around that until until my professional life started depending on it.
Yeah.
And so so that the franchise business model we were drawn to in a lot of different ways, and it's a really extraordinary business model, and we've learned a lot, obviously, over the years.
Sure. How would you say that your business model is different from others?
Well, the franchise business model is, we have local ownership. So we have local owners in communities that are representing us. In Charleston, we have 4 separate families that are franchise owners in Charleston. And our job as a franchisor is to support them in building a business.
Now tell us where the locations are typically. So right now we've got 4 in the Charleston area, but you are located in many different states. So where are some of the other locations that you have franchises?
The majority of our stores, 85–90% of our stores, are in Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana today.
I see. All right. Well, as a coffee lover, we can't have enough of these, in my opinion. But we do need to take a break here. So when we come back, let's talk more about your book, Grind. Very clever title. So we're going to do that after the commercial. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We've been chatting with Mike McFall. He is the co-CEO of Biggby Coffee, the 3rd largest coffee retailer franchise in the United States. We've got 4 locations here in Charleston. Mike has also written the book Grind, aptly titled. Tell us what the inspiration behind this book was.
Well, I've done a ton of reading in the entrepreneurial space. What I do day in and day out is I support entrepreneurs in building businesses and starting businesses, and I've done that every day for 26 years. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to write a book when I'm still in the phase of supporting startup or startup myself, and so that was the flavor I was trying to bring in writing the book. Very practical, very pragmatic, and it's really about attitude and mindset of the entrepreneur. It's not really nuts and bolts.
You talk about being humble in being a business owner, being an entrepreneur. And how does humility come into play when you're trying to create a success out of yourself?
Well, I mean, in order to learn, I think you have to be humble. I think you have to admit that you don't know everything, that you don't have every answer. And you know, when I encounter successful entrepreneurs, they have this thirst to learn, this thirst to engage in a conversation and learn from whoever they're talking to, and that's humility, in my opinion. When you can admit that when you're talking to somebody else that they have something of value to bring to you, to me that's being humble and not thinking that you have every answer.
Mm-hmm. And then once you've realized success, how do you not let that get to your head?
Well, you know, so people ask me the question all the time, you know, how did you turn your business into such a success? And I don't really think of what we've done as successful. I feel like we're just getting started. I feel like we have a ton to learn. At every phase of the development of your business, as the entrepreneur, you need to be evolving, you need to be learning, you need to be growing, and that's how we focus. And you know, one criticism we get regularly in our organization is that we never celebrate successes. We're always moving on to the next thing, and it's true, right? And so, you know, there's always somebody out there who you can model, someone that you can look up to, no matter where you are, what size your business is. I guess maybe if you're Amazon, maybe not, but you know, and so, but to me, it's really about learning and growing and getting better, and you as the entrepreneur learning how to meet your organization where your organization needs you, and that is just fundamentally always analyzing what your company needs and how you need to grow into that role.
Mm-hmm. I know you never want to sit on your laurels, for sure. What defines a good leader?
Well, I mean, to me, I sort of just touched on it, but you know, one of the primary components of being a leader is the ability to listen, and then truly understand what your organization needs from you, and then figuring out how to fulfill that. And that's constantly changing.
So you've got franchises all over. How many more are you expected to open this year, next year? What's on tap?
Well, we have a ton of activity. We have 260 stores open, but we have 130 contracts, actual franchise contracts signed right now, which means they'll open in the next 15 to 18, maybe 24 months. And so there's a ton of activity, and so we should be opening those stores over the next at minimum 2 years, but obviously a lot of those will open sooner than that.
I want to thank you so much, Mike, for joining us. It's been a pleasure to chat with you.
Great being here. Love it. Thank you.
We're back after this.